Jim, several listeners have sent in quotes that Chris Jericho has recently made publicly. Let's go to these. When responding to The Messenger, which must be
Wait a minute. Is that the guy we're not supposed to shoot?
I don't know if it's a podcast or an article. I don't know what it is, but The Messenger had a question, an inquiry for Jericho about Tony Khan's recent tweets. Here's what Jericho thought. I learned years ago that bosses are going to be bosses, and billionaires are going to be billionaires. I've been working for billionaires for 25 years at this point. You can't control Tony Khan. He's going to do what he wants to do, and God bless him. He created this company. He runs this company. He also grew up in the social media era. He got into wrestling via message boards online. He's always going to be attuned to that. So you know what? Who cares, man? He can say what he wants. I'm not going to tell him, take your phone away, because he's my boss. Say what you want. Whatever. I think it'd be worse.
Whatever. I'll do what I want.
I think it'd be worse if I said that stuff because I'm not the boss, you know? Tony Khan owns AEW. He can do what he wants. I'm not going to tell him no. But that sums up a lot of the problems with AEW right there. He's a billionaire. He's the boss. I'm not going to tell him anything but what he wants to hear.
I think actually you probably could say that the problem was that Tony's, what do they call it back in the day? Tony's governess maybe was saying the same things. I'm not going to tell him no. Or maybe Cadbury, the butler. I'm not going to tell him no. Or the chauffeur or the, they weren't telling him no a long time before Jericho's not. I mean, what's he going to say? What is Jericho supposed to say? Well, yeah, my boss has lost his fucking noodle and is just lashing out at people on Twitter, and his mind works in mysterious ways and potentially needs to be suppressed in some fashion. Slow down the gears are going to burn up sooner or later. But he can't say that because it's, he'll get wished into the cornfield. Apparently at this point, anybody that tries to sit Tony down and say, Tony, look at you and look at these other people in this other company that conduct themselves in a certain way, and you're doing too much and you're fucking, there's nobody that can say that, or they'll get wished into the cornfield or potentially made into a human jack-in-the-box, if I can reference that same episode again.
All right, well, I guess you can reference that same episode again. You can get the Tony Khan hug, or you can get the Tony Khan shun.
Hey, it's a lot better to have him hugging you than it is to having him wish you into the cornfield.
It's one thing to say he's the boss, he can do what he wants, but it's another thing to justify it or to say that it's good, or I don't know. Jericho, I mean, I guess in a way
to be so, I was going to say slovenly, but that's a misuse of that word. To be so slavishly verbally filleting the fellow instead of just trying to be halfway non-committal and get the fuck out of it is what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Well, there was an element of that too.